Well, exactly 5 minutes past 9 and 29 seconds. Well, good evening, world. Good evening, the city of joy. Good evening, India. Good evening, everybody who's tuned in. Well, I remember last I came on to Direct Dilse on the 19th of June. Post which, today, on the 7th of August, I'm back after 6 weeks, after 6 Fridays. Well, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to share. Life is never easy. It's how easy you make it. Life is never easy. It's that confidence and the positivity which helps you to overcome a lot of things. Tonight, I'm going to share with the entire world, the entire city of joy, the entire country watching me on Facebook Live, what happened in these 6 weeks and what I went through. There are a lot of people before this next song I'm going to play. There are a lot of people who were there. There were a lot of people who came forward. My beautiful team of Friends FM. Listeners asking me, what's happened? Where are you? People who came forward and helped. People who came forward and made a difference in my life and the life of my family. Well, today, whatever I'm going to share with you is going to come from my heart. And the reason why I'm sharing this, because I feel all of you need to know. A lot of you wanted to know where I was. And all of you all need to know because this story is an absolute story right from the heart, as I said. But before I tell you anything more, all I can say, we are the world, we are the children, and together, yes, together, we can make the difference. Well, this is Jimmy on Direct Dilse, live from the studios of 91.9 Friends FM. Across the world on Facebook Live, and of course, across the city of joy on the airwaves, on radio. So stay hooked. Do not touch that dial. Don't go anywhere, because I'm going to share a piece of my heart with you tonight. Well, exactly 9:14 and 54 seconds. You're hooked on to the only truly live station of the nation, 91.9 Friends FM. This is Jimmy on the hot seat, right till 1 a.m., right here on Direct Dilse. Well, for 6 weeks, I wasn't on Direct Dilse every Friday night. There's a reason. I'd like to thank Arijit, who was here on Friday nights for 6 weeks, doing an awesome job, holding the reins of the show and taking it forward with a lot of interaction. Hats off to you, Arijit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Team Friends FM, for being there. Thank you so much to a lot of people. But you must be wondering, what is Jimmy going to talk about today for 6 weeks? Exactly what happened. Well, exactly on the 23rd of June, when I was in office, I got a call from my wife. I'm going to tell you the entire story, this entire 6 weeks, every bit of it, because it's important to share with all you beautiful people who make us what we are today, who are there for us. So much of caring, so much of thought process, so much of coming together, and so much of making a difference. So it was the 23rd of June, I got a call from my wife. It was about 4 o'clock, telling me that, I'm not getting any sense of smell or taste. So I moved out of office, rushed back, phoned up the doctor. Doctor prescribed medicines immediately and told me that she needs to get a COVID-19 test done. So next day, the gentleman came. In the meanwhile, my wife quarantined herself from the 23rd evening itself, afternoon itself, and she told me. She was in a room, absolutely locked herself up. Well, I came home. spoke to the doctor, phoned up the lab. Next day, the gentleman came, did the swab test. My wife kept herself quarantined. I, in principle, from Tuesday afternoon decided that we'll all be in the house. That's me, my son, my wife, my mom, my dad. Well, in the process also, my mom was coughing and was having a little fever. My dad looked okay. My son was also showing little symptoms. I was not showing any symptoms. So this test, the swab test on my wife, the results came on Saturday. That was the 27th of June. And on Saturday night at about 7, 8 o'clock, I got a call and the lab told me that, Jimmy, your wife has tested COVID positive. I immediately called up the doctor. And the doctor advised, and I also thought it's good that the next day, which is Sunday, the entire family goes to the test and we get ourselves checked up for COVID-19. Well, there's lots to say. There's lots to say. But I think together we can heal the world. After the song, I'm going to continue where I left off. And for the next 1 hour, you're going to hear my entire real facts which happened with my family, with me, in the last 1 month, I would say slightly over 1 month. But right now, together, we will come, and trust me, together we can heal the world. Well, exactly 9:23 and 57 seconds, right here on Direct Dilse. This is Jimmy on the hot seat all the way till 1 o'clock, and I've been talking about why wasn't I on air for 6 weeks. And just let me tell you a little bit what I spoke previously. 24th, my wife took a test for COVID-19. Saturday, the 27th, she was positive. Sunday, I decided to get the entire family checked up. And Monday afternoon, the results came. That was on the 29th. All of us, my mom, my dad, my son, me, everyone was COVID positive. Well, there was always a little tension. There was always that thought, because you hear it all over the place. But we decided to quarantine ourselves at home as per the doctor's orders. I wouldn't say orders, as per the doctor's advice. And from Monday afternoon itself, we started getting calls from the Shastra Bhavan, from KMC. Trust me, I have to give a big salute to everybody out there in the government. From the Shastra Bhavan to the KMC, to my local councillor, Mr. Shah, to the local police station. I mean, all I can say is that it was like a small family, concerned, asking us how we were, what is going to be happening exactly, are we going to be home quarantine or... So we were all at home quarantine, all of us, my mom, who's 84, my dad, who's 91, all of us were at home. Well, the next day, which was the 30th, we kind of made sure that we were indoors and we were not communicating with anyone, but everybody was informed. That morning of 30th, I had the councillor, Mr. Shah, coming over. I had the KMC people coming over, and I was standing at the door, and they were standing a couple of feet away, and we were discussing, and they were ensuring that everything would be taken care of from the outside, in the sense the sanitation and everything. Hats off to all of them. I've experienced it in real life. That was just the beginning. 30th of June, 30th of June, nearly 5 weeks ago. We were having our medicines. Slowly, fatigue. You're feeling very tired. The kind of body pains a little bit. You don't feel like eating. All that was setting in, on the 30th, slowly. On the 1st, my dad wasn't looking too well, and my mom was coughing a lot. So I decided that I need to move them to a hospital. Well, I phoned, I pushed and tried, and I'd like to give a big salute to Fortis. I remember it was on the 1st. Fortis by afternoon made arrangements for an ambulance to take my mom, because there was only one bed available. But hats off to them for acting and moving fast. Fortis has really been a big help of taking care, and thank you for taking care of my mom. I really appreciate it. To all at Fortis, for the closeness, for the warmth, and for caring. Then that very evening, I had to move Dad also. So Dad moved to Medica. And a big hats off to all the doctors, trust me. Well, it was now self-quarantine of me, my son, and my wife in the house. We were living life. We started indoors, absolutely locked down. And hats off, I have to say this, really hats off, Arijit and Raja. They gave me a call. In fact, Arijit gave me a call and said, "Jimmy, do you require anything?" I said, "I would require some packaged food." You won't believe it. Raja and Arijit literally came to my doorstep, bringing and carrying all the stuff with them. Hats off. Thank you so much. Not just them, but the entire team, very concerned in finding out how I was. Well, thanks to my wife, my son, their positivity gave me all the courage also to become positive and confident that we will overcome, because we were facing it. Weakness, fatigue, body pain, not wanting to eat, all these were happening. There were moments, we've never as a family stayed without mom and dad. So mom was, on the first evening, mom was in Fortis, dad was in Medica, and I was kind of ensuring that, sitting in the house and not being able to move out, everything is kind of okay at both the hospitals. Life sometimes can be tough, but it's how you handle that toughness can make things very, very workable. I'm going to be playing a song to all my friends out there, and then I'm going to come back and continue with my real life story which happened over the last 6 weeks. Well, exactly 9:34, and I've been talking about what I went through in the last 6 weeks, and why, of course, I was not here for 6 Fridays. And for those who've just joined in, I was sharing how exactly my wife had the symptoms, and she went through a test and she was positive, and because she was positive, we all took the test and the entire family became positive. Well, on the 1st, I put my mom at Fortis and my dad into Medica, because elderly, they needed the best of support, which maybe as individuals we couldn't do. So there were 3 of us in the house, my wife, my son, and myself, and trust me, Hats off to my wife's positivity, my son, most positive, in fact, more positive than me. And we were together. And since you've already got COVID-19, there's nothing to panic. It's similar symptoms to a flu or a body ache, a pain. Nothing to panic. But one thing I must tell you, the positivity within us actually made us fight COVID-19. The positivity. We don't know what's in our systems or how great our systems are. But if you have a positive mind, trust me, it really helps, and it helped. Hats off to my local councillor. Hats off to the KMC. Hats off to Shastra Bhavan. I've never in my life seen so much of support and help and positivity from outside. Hats off to my team. Hats off to my colleagues. Hats off to the Bobazar police station. Saurav, Siddharth Babu, everybody out there used to call up to find out how we were, we needed any help or support. The local police brought in food, the local councillor brought in food as we could move out. But it's a part of life. As the days passed, my mum was recovering. We were slowly kind of, what to say, feeling a little better. That must have been the 7th or 8th of 6th or 7th of June, nearly 1 month ago at this time. My dad's health was fluctuating. Sometimes he was stable. In the process, he got a UTI infection, and his oxygen levels were low, so he was put on oxygen. Mum was progressing well. Dad was also stable. And every day of the day, as a family, and praying for mom and dad, wife, me and my son indoors. Not at all in the world, just in our home. Our home was our world. We stopped watching television because there was just too much of negative news. Everything was negativity. So we used to sit, we used to talk, we used to be there for each other right through. And that support was amazing. And I think, along with positivity, support of family members, support of friends, very, very important. I've heard, and really I must, and I'm going to speak out to people. I've heard that in one complex, there was a gentleman who recovered. The doctor said he's absolutely okay to go out. But in that complex, the complex people were telling him, no, you have to get certified. You have to get the doctor's certificate. You have to get a COVID certificate. Then only we'll allow you out, otherwise we won't allow you out. My counselor, local counselor, said one thing which I would love to share. He said, लड़ाई है बीमारी का साथ, किसी का साथ नहीं, सिर्फ बीमारी का साथ लड़ाई है. So please, there's nothing to panic, nothing to be worried about. Everybody is human out there. Treat people with a lot of warmth and care. And if you can't help, please mind your own business and please keep quiet rather than criticizing. It's very, very important. Well, sometimes you realize that closeness, positivity, and friends around make so much of a difference. I'm going to be back, and there's so much more I'm going to share. This is just the beginning. Well, exactly 9:53 and 53 seconds. Some folks have joined us right now, and they're asking, Jimmy, where were you for 6 weeks? Well, I started at 9 o'clock, a story which I've gone through in reality. So it started off on the 23rd when my wife couldn't get a sense of smell or taste. She quarantined herself. I went home. We also quarantined ourselves. My wife had a COVID-19 test, and on Wednesday the test was done. Saturday the results came out. She was positive. So without hesitation, I also called the lab and said we all want to get tested. Sunday we had the test. Monday all of us were positive. But as one says, you've got to take life as it comes. And, I think these are the times when, if not support, but nice words from people do help a lot. So we were under quarantine, great support from the Shastra Bhavan, KMC, the local councillor, police, my colleagues at Friends FM, people who WhatsApped and wished all the best, because my 91-year-old dad, my 84-year-old mom, my wife, my son, me, all positive. On the 1st of July, because my dad was not looking too well and my mom also was coughing a lot, I decided to move them to hospital. Mom was in Fortis, hats off to the doctors and the staff there, and I had to move dad to Medica because there were not enough beds in a single hospital. It was me, my wife and my son at home, and trust me, I think positivity really helped us. My wife was positive, my son was super positive, always saying that it's okay, we'll get out of it, not an issue. Of course, I had a lot of thought, family, mom, dad, but there was help. The local police, hats off to the Bobazar PS, hats off to the councillor and his team, hats off to the municipal corporation and the staff. No one knew who I was. I was just another person who was, and family was kind of having COVID-19. But the kind of help and support came was amazing. Hats off to all those folks out there. But I said, the story has just begun. The first 7 days, from the 1st to the 7th, was a little trying times because, you do not feel well, you feel fatigue. Nothing to worry. It's like a normal flu. But you just need to be positive and ensure that you take your medication. Well, there were 2 tablets given to us for 5 to 6 days. After that, we were just given pure immunity tablets. That was vitamin C, zinc tablets, and of course, we had D3 for iron. And we were slowly recovering. Dad's health was fluctuating. Mom was kind of on the path to recovery. By 13th, 14th, we were absolutely fine. On the 14th, I went and collected Mom from Fortis and brought her back home. That was the 14th evening, yes. Mom was home. Well, wife had kind of recovered, son had recovered, I had recovered. Dad was still in hospital because he was not very stable. Though at some times he was stable, oxygen levels were low, he was on oxygen. And of course, that was always a worry point. When your dad is in a nursing home, when your dad is in a hospital, and because of the pandemic situation, you can't visit him maximum, on a daily basis. A video chat was done with the doctors who were actually, also narrating my dad's progress, and actually we're talking from the place where my dad was there. You know, I really can't describe what I felt or what I was thinking, because you don't know, how your heart works or your mind works. Because there's a near and dear one who's on the older side at hospital. In this situation, you can't even go out to meet him or see him because. So on the 14th, Mum was back. We all recovered. I'll be back. But all I can say, don't worry. Even if COVID-19 hits you, positivity and go-gettingness, trust me, I've gone through it. Our family's gone through it. Positivity and go-gettingness will make a lot of difference. The problem with all of us is আমরা panic করছি, আমরা ভয় পাচ্ছি. Why? You cannot change things, but you can take precautions. Unfortunately, no one was going out of the house except me. And due to the neighbor who had coughing symptoms, and on one occasion came and took a bottle of water from our house, we suspect that could have caused it. But who knows? So even if you get it, please be positive. As I said, this is real life which was going on. And as I told you, this real life story is still not complete. I'm going to be back after this song, but all I can say is, yaar itna daro mat, जीले जरा हिम्मत से, positivity से, क्योंकि यही will help us to overcome. That's very, very important. And you're talking, and I'm talking. I have gone through COVID-19. My family has gone through COVID-19. But it is the positivity. It is the go-gettingness. And of course, you need all your friends and everybody to be there. But I'm going to come back. But right now it's time. And I'll sing it from the heart. Jeele Zara, positively. Well, the time is exactly 7 minutes past 10 p.m. and 41 seconds. Well, I was talking about for 6 weeks I wasn't on the show. And from 9 p.m. I've been talking details exactly what I and my family went through. We were all tested COVID-19 positive. We fought it with positivity. Lastly, as I said, Mum came back on the 14th night and we were very happy. Dad was still at the hospital. We were all happy that Mum had come back. I was feeling a little bit more relieved. We had all recovered, but Dad was still in the hospital. 15th morning, at about 20 past 5 in the morning, 5:15, 5:20, 5:17, I don't remember the exact time, I got a call from Medica. And this lady said, "Are you Mr. Jimmy Tangri? Your father is Karsha Tangri?" I said, "Yes." Morning, I just kind of got up from sleep. I was with the phone call coming in. In fact, I couldn't pick up my phone. My wife brought her phone in because both our numbers were given. And the lady at the other end said, "Sir, I'm sorry to say, your dad has passed away." I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. So I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Sir, I'm very sorry to say that your father has passed away." It took me some time to register. And she told me, "Sir, you're required at the nursing hospital, please come." My mum had just come back last night. My wife and son were up. Actually, a big support. So I kind of just rushed. I had a bath. I just wore something and rushed to the hospital to do the formalities, to get the death certificate worked out. And I waited for some time, about 2 to 3 hours. And my dad was being taken to the mortuary because being, COVID-19, though the test results hadn't yet come. So in the mortuary, I was outside, and through a glass door, I saw my dad resting in peace. I saw my dad resting in peace. Honestly, I was out of words, but there were a lot of formalities to be done. So on the 15th of July, my dad passed away. And after the formalities being done, I came back home. My wife and my son was waiting. I had to break the news to my mom. My mom is a very strong lady. In fact, she was awake that time. I sat beside her and I told her, "Mommy, Dad is no more." She's 84. And I told her this twice. She held my hand and just caressed it a little bit and said, "I can understand Jimmy. I can understand my son." She's very tough, and trust me, her positivity brought about more positivity within me. That happened on the 15th of July. By the 13th, 14th, all of us had recovered. But I lost my dad on the 15th. There are times you have no words of expression. There are times you don't know what to say. There are times the heart and the mind works. But in these times, the positivity of my wife, my son, even the strong, my mom being very strong, brought about a lot of forward looking, brought about a lot of thought. So over the couple of days, the formalities of my dad was completed. There were a lot of prayers happening. Prayers are still going on. My son, my wife, my relatives, my sister who's in Bombay, my mom, all of them brought about a lot of positivity. My colleagues, my friends, my very good friend Gagan. Gagan, I hope you're listening. Thank you for being there. And once again, as I said, we had all recovered. We were absolutely fine. But unfortunately, because of a sudden drop in oxygen, my dad passed away on 15th of July morning. We all go through tough times. Someday or another, we all have to leave the world. And it's important. And I always say this, and I always tell people, when our near and dear ones leave us and go to another world, they're looking down upon us, wanting us to be happy, because that's what they want in our lives. We owe that to them. All I want to say, guys, and folks out there, COVID-19 is nothing to be scared of. Please don't panic. Don't get scared. There are people who get so worried if they have symptoms, also they don't want to do the test. Please do the test because you don't know where you'll be spreading it. And be positive because that is the key to overcoming COVID-19. Of course, you have to take your medicine. You have to ensure that you be alert and eat properly. Everything. 6 weeks of going through a lot, losing my dear one, but life carries on. Life has to move forward. We always have to be positive. So much to be said, but many a time, words and words never come out easily. I'm going to be back. Stay hooked. Well, exactly 10:26 and 36 seconds. Well, a lot of people were asking me why I hadn't come on for 6 weeks on Direct Dil Se. And from 9 p.m. right till now, I was sharing what me and my family went through. We all had COVID-19. We recovered on the 14th of July. I lost my dad on the 15th morning. But as I always say, life goes on. We should never rewind. We should rewind with the best of memories. We should move forward with a lot of positivity. Because it's important to understand. And why I'm saying understand is to everybody out there. COVID-19 is not, and I'm stating it because I've gone through it. My son's gone through it, my wife's gone through it, my mom went through it, and my 91-year-old late dad also went through it. You need to be positive. You need not to get scared, please. And even if someone has got COVID-19, my humble request to what I'm hearing and what I'm reading about is that way people treat them as if they're outcasts is the worst thing you can do. Because remember, today someone's got it in your complex. Tomorrow you could also get it. So please be there. As my local councillor said and once again said, बीमारी से लड़ाई है, आदमी से नहीं. Please remember that anyone can catch it. And trust me, being positive, being strong from inside can actually be a major help. And it works. It works, trust me, it works. There are a lot of ups and downs in life. But life moves on. We move on, I move on, my family moves on with memories. Maybe in my entire life, this 6 weeks has been something I'll never forget. It'll always be instilled in me. Not just because we all went through COVID-19. I will still remember my dad's energy, his positivity, my mom's strength, my wife and sons being absolutely positive and go-getting. All this came together and really helped us. So my humble request is whatever happens to any of you all, whether it be COVID, whether it be whatever, please be positive. Please be strong. That's one very important part of recovery. And for those people who are tense, nervous, scared, please don't be. And in your complex, in your neighborhood, if someone's got COVID-19, I know you can't go near the person, but please treat the person with respect from a distance, and there's no harm. You know, if the person is looking from the balcony, you can always do a namaskar, and you can always say, get well soon. Together, we can overcome. And there's nothing to be scared of. Well, life has a lot of memories. These 6 weeks will be, embedded in my memory. But it will also tell me that my dad is in a beautiful world looking down upon me, wanting me to be more go-getting, wanting me to be happy, wanting me to move forward in life, which I will do. And I will do it from tonight. And I've been doing it for the last, since 15th, I've been out, I've been in Zoom meetings, today is the first day I've come to office, but I've been engaging and interacting with the team. I will do that. Hats off once again to everybody, to the Fortis Hospital, to the doctors out there who were amazing, to my local councillor who was truly amazing, to the local police station, to Shastro Bhavan, to the KMC. Hats off. I can promise you one thing, I've never ever seen the kind of response to the sanitation people. It was amazing. Hats off to all of them. Hats off to the doctors, hats off to the police, hats off to the sanitization workers, hats off to the people from the government who are doing such an extreme, amazing job. Yes, there will be ups and downs. I'm saying it because I've gone through it, I've faced it, I've seen it. And I've lost an important part of my life there also. But are we just going to feel down and brood? Or are we going to move forward and create a lot of positivity with good memories of positivity and of course of memories where we will miss people? It's important to be strong and positive. Please, Calcutta. Please, world. Everybody watching me on Facebook Live. Well, I will carry on. In fact, I'll be more positive because I'm sure my dad would want me to be more positive. And I'll carry on with the good memories of the good days, of the beautiful moments with my dad, and of course, the beautiful moments still carrying on with my family. And trust me, all of them instilled more positivity within me. And I think because of the positivity, because of the strength, we managed to overcome. So please, a humble request to everybody out there, थोड़ा सा हमेशा ध्यान रखो कि यदि किसी को कोविड-19 हो जाता है तो don't treat him as an outcast. I'm reading so much of it in complexes, or people behave very rudely. This is not done. Honestly, this is not done. And if you really want to fight COVID, go through the process of being tested, take the precautions, and get yourself locked in, quarantined for 14 days. After 10 days, the symptoms will disappear totally. And after the 14th day, you will be actually, jogging if you want to. It's important. Well, the show is going to carry on right till 1 o'clock. I have beautiful, fond memories in my heart, and I will always have them. And I'll have those beautiful, fond memories with a lot of positivity, with a lot of thinking forward to life, and hope that in my way, as I move forward in life, I can make small differences to a lot of people. Someone asked me, what kind of test did you go through? Well, I don't know what the name of the test is, but it was the nasal and the throat swab. The swab test which was tested all of us. So, thank you so much, listeners, for always being there. Thank you so much for my team and colleagues for always being there. Thank you to everyone who made a difference, not just to me, but to a lot of people out there. And last but not the least, thanks to my family who brought about more positivity, more strength, that we overcame it. Well, fond memories, close memories, positive memories will always linger in my heart. Well, exactly 10:39 and 43 seconds. You heard my story for the last 1 hour 40 minutes for 6 weeks. Why I was not here on Dil Se. And I fondly remember my dad. A very positive person, go-gettingness, always smiling, humble, down to earth. I still remember when I was in school, we used to travel by bus. I used to cycle to school. He used to always be there for me. Uh, and I'm happy. I grew up in those times where there were no televisions, no mobile phones, but a lot of games, a lot of walking, a lot of public transport, and a lot of positivity thanks to my dad. A very humble, down to earth gentleman who made so much difference in our lives. Hats off to my family who brought about so much of positivity when we all went through COVID 19. And I think that's what did the magic. That's what brought in the change. Well, Kolkata, world, today the show Direct Dil Se carries on. We are going to engage, we are going to talk. And if you want to mend it with a friend or end it with a friend, it's Friendship Week. We can connect, we can read out your messages, we can share your stories. And if you have any questions to ask, do ask. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Well, right now it's time for Coldplay. Trust me, positivity brings about a lot of magic.